So this first video is going to be on questions 1 to 4 of the November 2013 Higher Tier Calculator paper. Question 1 was a nice calculator paper question where all we need to do is use our calculator correctly. Whenever we see fractions like this, we're going to want to push the fraction key on our calculator straight away, and that looks something a little bit like this. So long as what you have on your calculator looks exactly like we've got here, when you press equals you will get the number 18.75. A usual question now is to round our number, and that's exactly what we're asked to do. We're asked to round our number to one significant figure. To one significant figure means that I need to look at the first non-zero number, which is here. The number next door tells me what to do. 8 says round up. So my final answer here wants to be 20. Question 2 is on ratio. We've got two people who are sharing an amount. So we've got Pavel and Katie who are sharing sweets in the ratio 3 to 8. So this was Pavel and this was Katie. I always like to remind myself which part of the ratio refers to which person. If I read on, I find out that Katie gets 32 sweets. I need to find out how many sweets does Pavel get. Okay, so Katie, who is our 8 parts of our ratio, gets 32 sweets. So I know 8 parts is worth 32 sweets. My favourite question, how much for 1? How much is 1 part worth? Well, I know if I can divide this by 8, and I can divide this by 8, I will find that 1 part is worth 4. So now to finish my question, how much does Pavel get? Well, Pavel gets 3 parts, and if 1 part was worth 4, multiplying by 3 tells me that 3 parts must be worth 12. Part B of this question, Katie also has a tin of chocolates. This time we're finding 45% of the toffee chocolates. So there are 80 chocolates in the tin, we want to find the 45% of them. Lots of different ways that we can do this. We can make use of the fact that this is our calculator paper, so 45%, that's the same as 0.45 when written as a decimal. So if I want to find 45% of 80, I can just do 0.45 multiplied by 80, and that comes up with my answer straight away of 36. However, there are obviously lots of other ways there, so we knew that the 100% amount was 80, therefore I know that my 10% amount is going to be 8. All we've done here is divided by 10 and divided by 10. Once I know what 10% is, I can multiply that by 4 to get 40%, and multiplying by 4 this gives me 32. Then all I need is the extra 5%, and if I know 10% is 8, then 5% must be 4. So again, I can add these two together and find out that 45% is worth 36 sweets. So there's a second method that we can use. Alternatively, if you would prefer, you can multiply the fraction 45 out of 100 by 80, and this will also give you 36. And again, the smarter of you will have seen 45 out of 100 is 0.45, so these two are equivalent. Question 3. This was quite tricky. We've got different coloured counters in a bag. 3 red, 7 blue, the rest are yellow. We know that the probability that we take a yellow counter is 2/7. Again, lots of different ways that we can do this. We can think of the probability 2/7. This is 2 out of 7, so I've got a 2 in 7 chance of picking a yellow counter. Now, that doesn't tell me that there are 7 counters. In fact, I know there can't be 7 counters because there are a total of 3 and 7. There are a total of 10 counters already. So let's think of something else that is similar to 2/7. Well, doubling, I get 4, 14ths. Well, 4 out of 14, if there are 14 counters in the bag, then there will be 4 yellow counters. I've already got 10 counters here. And my probability here is telling me it's out of now 14, so I need an extra 4 counters. So it would make sense for me to say that there were 4 of these that were yellow counters. If we don't like that, there is a method that we can use that involves algebra, and that is to say that the probability that we pick a yellow counter is 2 out of 7. So 2 out of 7. Now that's the same as the number of yellow counters, which I don't know, out of the total number of counters, which is going to be 10 plus the counters I don't know. Now I can cross multiply. To find that 2 lots of 10 plus x is equal to 7x. Expanding, 20 plus 2x is equal to 7x. Subtracting 2x from both sides, 20 is 5x. Dividing by 5, x must be 4. What was x? The number of counters. So there's my final answer for yellow counters. Plans and elevations. This was a relatively simple question, but we needed to know what to do in order to score all of the marks. We need to think about looking at the picture from this direction. So what would I see if I was side on to this object? Well, I would see this face here, and I would also see this face here. And I need to draw these accurately on my centimetre squared paper. So where this is 5 centimetres across, I know that the base of my drawing needs to be exactly 5 squares across. Where this was 2 centimetres tall, this here needs to be exactly 2 centimetres tall. Where this is 3 centimetres tall, this here needs to be exactly 3 centimetres tall. And obviously this would be far better if I had drawn with a ruler. Coming up next, questions 5 to 8.